ready, other views. I'm Rashid Daguna, and this is how was
Simon,
your flight?
the right. Look, I'm come from foreign, no.
Yeah.
Let's have a big up with the old school kappa, you see me? Because we're hoping that Jamaica can get back to those days where them was actually trying to qualify for the World Cup. So I need this as inspiration. I'm burning up under this jacket. I'm burning up under this jacket. But inspiring Jamaica. Remember the good old days. Cool. But before the national team, let's talk about the Red Stripe Premier League.
Because that's where a lot of the players from this national team filtered in from. So what's going on there?
Well, right now, we see Tivoli has taken the lead now on top of the Premier League.
With a 1-0 win over former leaders, Mobile United.
That is a strong win.
Park.
In fact, that win might even give a confidence blow to Montego Bay. What do you think about that?
I think Tivoli, it's more the other way around. Tivoli have been doing well in the league so far, and this win solidifies all the confidence they've had through the season. These young players integrating, knowing that they could probably do something big, carry on from what they did, what a lot of them did at Boys Town last season in the under 20s, where they won that before coming over. And the coach as well, he was a coach there at Boys Town coming over to Tivoli. So it says that, look, we're a team that means business this time, and Tivoli is being turned around now.
Why I think this win was very important, rather than just being a confidence booster for Tivoli, I think we have two fan bases that actually take the league serious.
Yeah.
Right? Montego Bay United, as a club and as a fan base, they take the league serious. Tivoli takes it serious.
Yeah.
People come out to the games, they support the team, and we find that there's a motivation factor that happens here. Now the question is, on the other end of the spectrum, with Waterhouse and Boys Town looking at relegation, is it the case that they don't? I'm not sure, but what do you think about that?
I don't think it's necessarily the fans, because to be fair to Boys Town, they haven't been playing games in Trenchtown. They've been at the Barbican Sports Complex for the last 2 seasons.
Well, factor that in then, so maybe the fans aren't able to be there.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I was kind of hinting at.
Okay.
Waterhouse now, it's more to do with the backroom issues, the coaching issues. Admiral Bailey has been doing better than the last coaches, but they still haven't been getting the results they want. But it's a process. A watch pot doesn't boil.
Decent win against Arnett Gardens though.
Yeah, 3-0. Now that's another team in some with some serious issues right now, because a few weeks back they dropped they had some pay cuts, and including the coach had a pay cut, and some players were released, and as a result, results just kept going downward.
Well, what I think needs to happen now, looking on this table, right? Tivoli and Montego Bay seem to be poised at the top, right? 42 points each. But UA FC coming really close with 39. Now, Portmore United have something to say, maybe even Humble Lion. We've seen the up and down of the league. So those 5 teams seem to be the real front runners to be top 4 at the end of the season. But what we have to look on though is which team can find consistency. You understand? Because the winner, we play a finals. You understand? It's MLS format, not league. So being at the top of the league will mean nothing when it comes to a big day. Consistency will mean everything. Finding that strong foot going into the last lap.
Now, with it being 6 teams this season that are going to the playoffs, do you think it's a good idea to have 6 teams? Because, I mean, you can be coasting through the league. I mean, Harbourview is in 10th place right now. They have 21 points, and they're just 7 points off that important 6th spot, and they have 12 games to go. They can still make it. Do you think it's fair that a team that has done so poorly this season
might win the actual?
Yes.
I think rather than thinking that it's unfair, what I think it does, it keeps the teams in check. I think, because...
But it does the opposite as well. It can tell you that you can coast off and then still just sneak in the back door at the last minute.
Well, you're right, because what we have here is a league format that leads into a cup final finish. But at the end of the day, that brings the intensity. You understand? There's more at stake. Because another side of it could be that people say that they can't win, and these games, a lot of games become nothing games. You understand? If you see that there is some type of turnaround in sight, and you're fighting for 6 spot to win something, it's almost like the rush for Champions League place. When you don't do it like that, what are they fighting for? You put that possibility, and teams will start going head to head late in the season that weren't at the top 4.
Now put yourself in the shoes of a Tivoli or a Montego Bay fan. You've been playing well all season, and then the likes of a Reno or a Harbourview come and win the league over you.
unfair, but guess what? It's not Tivoli and Montego Bay alone that pays the bills. You understand? So what needs to happen is Red Stripe Premier League needs this to be exciting, and this can help. I see your side of it, but at the same time, this can help. So with that said, I think the league is shaping up nicely. I think there's a lot of interesting and exciting encounters coming up, and I look forward to hoping for more quality games and to see teams fighting to the finish. Any final words on the league?
No, I don't have nothing else to say.
All right, cool.
We have more important things to talk about.
With that said, the national team has some games coming up. Red Stripe Premier League has a lot of players in this squad, and a few from the USL.
Fact,
A few from the USL and MLS. So we're looking at a team that is trying to rebuild. How you feel about the games coming up?
I think Honduras is the right opponent, given that you're going with a local-based squad and you're trying out some new players. But I think USA might be a bridge too far for them. I think it's kind of unfair to get that level of opposition so soon for them. But you have to give them credit though, because I mean we have always complained that when we see Jamaica playing a St. Lucia or a Grenada, we want bigger opposition. I will actually getting it now, but I just think that the timing is kind of off.
My personal opinion, trial by fire. Don't care. Right now we need to play up. We have been playing like crap, and then when we play against equal opposition, we lose. Play up. Whenever we play higher opposition, we seem to bring more to the plate. You understand? At least try to.
No.
So with this USA team that you say might be too hard of an opposition, let's get out there. Let's see who not ready. Let's see who is ready. I'm very happy that they're bringing in youth prospects. Omar Holness playing really good in MLS. O'Neal Fisher just winning the MLS Cup. And then you have Damian Lowe and the youngster.
Let me just go through the squad quickly. We have Romario Williams, who just signed for Atlanta FC, the new MLS team. Corey Burke, Michael Binns, Kevin Lambert, Omar Holness, Owen Gordon, Ewan Grandison, Dwayne Ambazi. These are all local-based players. Javon Watson, who's the most experienced player in the squad, plays for Dallas. We have Kemar Lawrence, Ladale Ritchie, Sergio Campbell, who doesn't have a club right now, Damian Lowe, Rosario Harriet, O'Neal Fisher, Andre Blake, the goalkeeper, Ryan Thompson, another goalkeeper, Alvas Powell, Shamar Nicholson, and Jordan Fletcher.
Really happy Jordan Fletcher is in that squad. Just won the Da Costa Cup. Could have won the Super Cup. Unfortunate that they lost it. I mean, fortunate for women.
Montego Bay United and scored on his debut. He's doing really well there as well. Future Jamaican football.
Exactly. And we need to build that future. And what's the best way? Make them play the best. In fact, I would say we should have found somebody even bigger to play. That's how I feel. But, so it go. Right now, I really wish that there was one more youth player in the squad.
You mean like a Leon Bailey?
Not like a Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey should be in the team. You don't think so?
No, it's not that I don't think so. I just don't think it's going to happen. Just stop hanging your hat on that thing.
Well, whether or not you think it could happen, I think it should happen. I think the JFF needs to really look into it. He's a talent. He's young. He's Jamaican born and bred. He should be in the team. The question that I have to ask JFF or the world is, what is it that the program needs to do to open up the team to talents like him? How are we tracking the players that are on it? Do you know how many kids leave and play college and high school up there that's not being tracked?
I know.
Simple as that. Find these players before they become Raheem Sterling, before they become Leon Bailey. Find a tracking program and our program can improve.
Here's my thing. We don't have the system to support and to sustain.
What do you mean we don't have the system?
Hear me out. We don't have an academy.
Then build one.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't have it and we don't look like we want to build it. We've been hearing talk about an academy to be built here for much years. We have, and the best we got out of it is the football center up at UA. And it's not doing what you expect of an academy.
But you know
to have players playing in a team for generations, coming through for 10 years, and then when they filter into the senior team, they have a philosophy and style of play, and they're used to playing with each other. We don't have that in Jamaica.
You know what I think you're doing, and I think is a problem overall. I think you're accepting it.
I'm not.
I think you're looking at it like you're saying, we don't have an academy, so him can't come. No, force them to build an academy. Right now, there should even be a team. There should be a under 19 team, a Manning Cup team that's finding a way to tour or play other teams. Not just when we have an under 21 World Cup or an under 21 competition.
No, but if you have a Manning Cup team, that's not necessarily the national setup, because what about players that are playing overseas that need to filter?
Maybe we should have squad matches against them.
I am saying,
get the all Manning team to play an all Jamaica Florida team
But
or
look,
something.
France does it with Clairefontaine. You have them, they're actually boarding at this academy from like age 7 up. So every what do you call it now? Youth system, like a under 20 team, under 15 team, under
Right.
13 team, is the same squad coming through. They filter through. So that core we have that from the under 13,
Yeah.
players are under 15, players are under 16, players are under 20. When they get to that point, we don't have that coming.
And then here's another problem that they have with it now. They will build a under 15 team, right, or under 17 team, and no tracking of these players properly. Or you know what? Let me not say no tracking. If there is tracking, JFF, you need to show us how you're doing that. Because guess what now? When I see like a Manning Cup competition finish, I can go and look on the colleges. I can go and look and see where these players and look at what is happening. Why isn't there a database for us to see that as well? Why doesn't JFF have an overall database? It's not secret information. It's not something that they need to hide. Have a database.
I'm
Have
going
it
to tell you
tracking.
why. I'm going to piss off a lot of people. We don't have the know-how to do it. We don't have the...
We don't want to have a website. That's crazy.
Because there are older heads in the thing that don't understand and can't relate to this.
So get these dinosaurs out.
Thank you.
Simple as
That
that.
is what I was getting at.
So all them need to do, Rashid, right, is have some type of database where everybody who plays for the national team
Yeah.
is put into that system. And it is tracked what school I'm going to, where they are.
Yeah.
Right? Then guess what's going to happen now? A man who they're in Florida that never played for the thing yet, he can put his information in there. And then that does some of the work for JFF. So the dinosaurs will then get a notification that says he has entered into this, and you look on
Yeah.
that, a man can talk to the JFF man, and then can maybe get a trial. Why don't they have a scout? Why don't they have a scout that is in Florida looking at all of the Jamaican man them that can play football? Dinosaurs, wake up. The fate of Jamaican football is in your hands. And all that JFF need to do is track young talent.
All that JFF need to do is get rid of the leadership and find new ones.
Whoa. That's for another day. But yeah. You understand? So with that said, more to come.
Yeah.
On Yard Talk, we are now talking about what go on in Jamaica. Subscribe, share,
And give us
like.
your feedback.
Disagree if you want. Me not even care. Wake up. Jamaica can make it to the next World Cup. We're ready. Big up yourself. Yo, Pierce, lock off this one, we get vexed again.